your hands in the air. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
Mixing sodas with the beer. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
So why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
This is the one right here.
Throw your hands in the air. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
Mixing sodas with the beer. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
So why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
This is the one right here.
You got
What is y'all, your social media platform artist and the host of the great YouTube channel. I'm your host, your one and the only Dr. Do here, everyone. How are we on this awesome Wednesday right here, y'all? Today's video, we are going to talk about a dark story video right here. A story that many people want to hear about, alright? This is a story that many people consider it a tragic thing that happened back in the 1990s. It considered the biggest story that happened in 1994. It happened over 100 days. This is a story that happened in Africa, in a nation that with many people had been traumatized and shocked to lose many family members and their friends and family in this by other group right here. We're going to talk about the dark story of the Rwandan genocide, y'all. This is a story that many people want to hear about from your one and only Dr. Do. This is a history that people never forget about. It happened between April 7, 1994 till July 19 right here. 100 days right there. It happened between two groups and their government leaders as well, who took the lives of over almost 1 million people during the 100 days. Considered one of the fastest genocide that ever happened back in 1994, and we're going to talk about this story right here. How did the genocide lead to this? How did many people had to lose their life because of this history right here? And also, why didn't the government stop them right here? So before we get started, if you guys new to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel, hit notification down below, comment down below, see what you guys think about my opinion about the Rwandan genocide and what you thought about this story right here. And also, you guys want some Dr. Do merch? Go to Cotton Bureau to get you guys Dr. Do merch right here. Hat wear, shirt wear, jackets, hoodies, alright y'all? And long sleeve shirt to get ready for winter itself, you know, and drink wares. And also, you guys want something that will give you enough hydration, energy, focus, and protein? Go to Beach Chart to give you guys Dr. Do's hydration, energy, and focus powders right here, y'all. To get you through the whole entire day and night, and also at work, at school, and also at the gym as well, y'all. So y'all, you get 10% off by using my Dr. Do code right here, y'all. Hope y'all use that and get y'all through the whole entire day. And without further ado, let's get this party started. So the story happens. This story about this genocide happened between two groups, the Hutus and the Tutsi. Right here. These two groups have always been at conflict with each other since the 1800s, when Belgium and the Germans controlled Rwanda back then, until back in the 19th century, when they lose their power over the Rwandan nation, which led to by a Tutsi monarchy that ruled over Rwanda. All right. But in 1959 till 1962, the Hutu overthrew the Tutsi government monarch country under the Belgian authorities right here, which led to the Hutus ruling over the nation back from 1962 until 1994. Right, that long time right here, y'all. Like over 32 years of the ruled by the Hutu government, and also resulted over 330,000 Tutsi fled the country to Uganda, but some of them returned back home, and there were some rebellions against the Hutu government. But however, there were mass murders happening in the capital in Rwanda, which led to a lot of people's lives taken. But over the time, Hutu only prosecuted Tutsi groups by many reasons, by prosecuting them, hurting them, murdering them, all of that stuff, including making them less smart. Alright, take away their rights of voting, take away their education, all of that stuff. But in 1990, a civil war happened between the Hutu government and the Rwanda the Patriot Front, or so I say the RPF, led by Paul Kagandi and Alice Kadi. What is the? Sorry, I had this ruin that last name. All right, but however, the conflict between them have lasted between 1990 until 1993, when the president of Rwanda Hutu government, led by none other than the president of between Jeffrey Habori Maha, the president of Rwanda, he decided to create a peace between his government and their government and their rebel group, try to make sure that the civil war between them would not happen ever again. There were supposed to be peace between them for a while, but however, there were Hutu militia group and Hutu members of the government did not support this peace at all, because they always had this hatred for the minority group of the Tutsi. Right here, there have been a lot of militia groups and a lot of armed groups that did not like the peace at all. But in April 6, 1994, the president and his pal were killed in an assassination in an airplane by a missile, which resulted in both him and his associate killed in a plane crash. Some argue that it was caused by the Hutu groups, because they don't want peace with the Tutsi at all, because of their beliefs and stuff. They don't like them and stuff. But in April 7, 1994, the genocide began. Hundreds of thousands of people hundreds of thousands of Hutu people and militia group armed themselves with machete, guns, and uniform. With it kind of strange how they got the kind of stuff in the beginning of the genocide. They were massacring many people, many Tutsi men, women, and children, including other minority groups, including some moderate Hutus who did not believe that the persecution is a good thing for their nation and their people. And thousands tried to flee, and those did not try to get away from the attacks. All right, you see children and wives being cut into pieces by Hutu militia group, men and women. They try to check see if you are Hutu or Tutsi right there. There were groups that waited for some Tutsi try to flee the country. They were hacked down, murder, including sexual. It was tragic and sad that why didn't the Hutu government stop it? They don't care. You know why? They don't care of what's happening during the 100 days, because there was some belief that there was something going on with the Hutu government. All right, it was led by these men right here: Tennessee Borkoshawa, Robert Kajadi, Jen Boscodia. Sorry, I had to butcher their name. I don't want to. They were like part of a militia group, and also some part of the government who see this as a cleansing for Rwanda and make sure all the Tutsi are wiped out. But then we saw the UN building the refugees camp for the men and women who try to flee the attackers, and the murderers. All right. So during those 100 days, it was bloody and sad and tragic to see many of them fled and losing their lives. By April 19, 1994, the genocide stopped and refugee camps were constructed, and many refugees fled into the area. But then all of a sudden, the UN saw members of the Hutu government try to enter the refugee camp as well, including their militiamen and their people. Over millions of Hutu fled into the refugee camp. You know why? Because the RPF was on their way of taking the capital. And get this, why didn't the Hutu government stop the rebel group from taking the capital? Do you know why? I have this theory about that, because when you think about it, I felt like they were preparing to leave the capital. I felt like this was a diversion that the Hutu government were doing right here. See, one of the greatest thing about that how did they not wanting to defend their capital, even though that they were in the middle of a civil war, right? And guess what? Come on. And guess what? They were using the genocide as a way to make the people get distracted, so that way they would get themselves ready, try to regroup, and also try to take the money and the weapons to finance themselves of making sure that they will try to be prepared next time. All right. So the UN let the Hutu back groups and the men and their people into refugee camp. Eventually, the leader of the RPF, Paul Kagame, had took power of Rwanda and launched a attack on the Hutu militia group that were trying to regroup and try to rebuild their forces. Eventually, they managed to enter the refugee camp, taking many lives all over the refugee camp. It also resulted of the Hutus fled to Zaire, which is now the Democratic Republic of Congo. All right, and also as for the Hutu government members, they fled not just out of the refugee camp into Congo, but other places as well. And the UN decided to take measure against the Hutu militia by either hunting them down and striking down their militia groups, their camps, and also all their financial as well. Eventually, the perpetrators who took part of it, Tunisia was captured, and also Robert Kajodo, alright, Jean Bashkolta Barenko, and then Hassan Nagay, the man who he was captured in 1997, but Jean Barenko, he was a man who who financed the money and the machete and uniform. But however, there one man who took part of the genocide, who was considered the main perpetrator of the murders right here, Phoenicia Kabuka. He was considered one of the most wanted criminals ever. He was hunted down for a long time, from 1994 till 2020, when he was captured in France, and he was living in the hotel back at the age of 87 right here, y'all. One my theory is correct that they used the genocide as a distraction in order for them to be prepared and try to flee with Rwanda once and for all. So that way they would ensure that their groups and their government will survive. But however, most of the members of the Hutu government have been captured or been killed in combat right here, y'all. This is tragic to what happened to the people who lost their lives today. Millions of people fled and lost and were killed, either been mutilated by machetes. I mean, when you think about it, the Hutu group, this man, Kabuka, many of the members say that he basically the main one who helped finance the genocide, and he and his associates were been planning the genocide since back in the mid of 1990 right here during the Civil War, because they've been wanting to do this for a really long time, even behind the president of Rwanda back, you know. And I say that my theory, I had this theory that this assassination of the president was planned out during 1993 and 1994 by the member of the Hutu government groups right here, you know, because they see this piece as a bad way for their look. They don't want their plan to be they don't want their plan to be for nothing at all. I say that this deep man right here have planned on taking the president of Rwanda's life in order to let their genocide happen. All right, and so this is what I believe. This is what I believe. All right, this is not the people's voice, but my opinion right here. This is my belief that this genocide was all planned out by these guys in order for them to show them what kind of monster they are. And so eventually all of them been captured, but however some of them had died from they're in prison, and while others still remain alive to this day right here. All right, Kubota is still alive, and Hassan it remained alive as well. But today, the Hutus now living in places like Congo, for example, there are not that much of the there are not that much militia groups in Congo nowadays. There are now 100,000 Hutus reside there, but refuse to come back to the Rwanda because they know what they did, what they done was wrong. And that's why you saw hundreds of thousands of Hutu men and women who took part of the genocide were on trial for murder, right here, for murder and all the associated with associated with the plan of taking lives, right here, y'all. This is a story that with nobody going to forget about. It was sad, tragic, and God rest the souls of many men, women, and children who lost their life, including the survivor who survived the Rwanda. I'm so sorry for all y'all, for what happened. I'm sorry for what happened to your moms, your dads, your brothers, your sister, or your wife and children, and your family members and your friends. May their soul rest with God right here, y'all. Tragic to see so many people losing their lives and been traumatized by this. Alright? I felt like we all need to never forget this day. We never forget what happened in 1994 and all the things that with their whole entire life changed right here, y'all. May God be with them right here, y'all. And there you have it. This is the story, the dark story of the Rwanda genocide right here, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all have a great day. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit notification down below. Comment down below. See what you guys think about this story right here. I hope y'all have a great day. And I see you guys next time right here, y'all. And also, be sure to get ready to watch me and my brother play Fortnite tonight at 4 o'clock, y'all. Alright? Peace out, y'all.